Thank you so much. So, just to like before I sort of start the question, I really loved the way like complicated and sort of very important thoughts were sort of boiled down and trickled down to versions that were very simple to understand, and they actually we can resonate with what we're hearing, and we can actually try to use their implication and change the way we think about life, right? It I'm very looking forward to seeing what differences this makes in the world around me and, of course, everywhere else. Right. Sir, overall, several questions. There are several things. So, as we did discuss on how we can focus on ourselves and through us change the world. So, how does one start identifying as a individual and as a part of the world together? So, how does one resonate with bringing change in ourselves and in the world in the same one go?
Okay. This is a very serious question. How to, first of all, change yourself, and then identify yourself as the individual and identify yourself as part of the world. This is a very good question. Thank you so much. In fact, let us keep in mind that only if you have gold, you can export gold. Some people, they are very unhappy themselves, so disturbed at home, so disturbed, and then go out and tell the students, be happy, right? And you're not happy. So the point is that in order to export gold, you must be rich in gold. Let's not forget it. So for that matter, the point is that first of all, make sure that you are happy. So for that matter, what should we be doing is that we can't expect to have happiness. Oh, he said that we should be happy, so I'll be happy. Then I'll go to pubs. I'll go to pubs, I'll go to the, in the hotel, there's one section where the alcohol is served, bar, in the West, they call it pubs, right? So you go to the pubs, okay, so I'm going to be happy. So let's not forget two things in our life. All the youngsters, let's keep in mind two things. If somebody were to ask you, in general, what should be the purpose of your life? So there, first, be kind to yourself. Let's not forget it. Be kind to yourself, number one. Number two, be wisely kind to yourself. What does it mean by be kind to yourself? Who is kind to you? Let's say each one of us, when we are very young, age 1, 2, 3, 4, who was the kindest in this world? Your mom, your dad. Two of them were the kindest to you. In what way? They provide you with the maximum happiness. They keep you away from fears. This is the meaning of be kind to you. Always make sure that you have the right to stay away from fears and to embrace happiness. You have the right, and go for this. This is the advice number one. Be kind to yourself. Number two, be wisely kind to yourself. Okay, he said that I should be kind to myself. Now I'm so tired. So I must go to the pubs. I must go to the bar so that I relax myself. No, this is not being wisely kind to yourself. This is being very unwisely kind to yourself. This is an unwise way of being kind. So we should be wisely being kind to yourself, which means that what you don't want, I don't want problems. I don't want miseries. And the miseries are attracted by this selfishness and the ignorance. So get rid of ignorance to see things broader in reality, to see things deeper in reality. Study more. Study more. And then the other one is selfishness. Don't be selfish. Expand your circle of compassion. Expand your circle of compassion and expand your knowledge. These two combined together will make you a very skillfully compassionate person. So where everybody will respect you because of your knowledge, and nobody will, everybody will respect you because of your compassion, but nobody will abuse you because of your knowledge. So these two will guarantee that you are being kind to yourself and you are being very wisely kind to yourself. So this is what we need to keep in mind. Once we have this, you see that as an individual, you are the happiest person. As a part of the community, community will come to you, seeing that this person has the ability to lead us. Thank you, Aryan.
Thank you so much. It's
So
beautiful.
I think you've really got some good bit of advice today, Aryan, when the world will come to you for advice. So be
Yes.
prepared for that.
Yes.
Okay. So we also have Bhavya. Bhavya, would you like to tell Geshe-la a little bit about what you're doing and then your question?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So first of all, good evening, Geshe, Damdul sir, and to everyone present here. First of all, I would like to thank Bennett University for giving me this platform, wherein I, Bhavya Yadav, the co-founder of SoulPal, along with my team members Shubham San and Anit Goyal, are trying to help the society in our own little way. And SoulPal is a mental health startup with a vision to make India the happiest country in the world. It is an online platform which is being designed to foster mental wellness, wherein we are trying to help people in their darkest hours at the right time without any judgments and with anonymity. Thank you, sir. So, like, I have one question which I would like to ask from you. So the fact that the stigma and the acceptance of having a mental illness is a problem globally. So what is that thing that stops us from having that kind of acceptance? Like, is it the as a society we are failing, or is it we are failing as an individual being?
Okay. Thank you so much. These are actually the questions of the experts. Wow, that's amazing. Okay. If I don't see your face, then I would think that, okay, this is a question coming from an expert. I should have an expert answer, right? But when I see you, wow, that's amazing. Wow, a young person with a brilliant question. Okay. Yes, in fact, this is where I indicated earlier that what is today is the product of the past 20, 30, 50 years. What is tomorrow is going to be the product of today. And today, what is tomorrow is in the hands of the youngsters of today. So youngsters, you have the future. So with this in mind, what we need to do is that let us not expect that the society should change. That the society, the society is uncivilized, not accept the people with the mental problems. So instead, what we can do is that start the way you have started as the mental health society, a small society. Start something small and try to let it grow. Let it grow. Meanwhile, as I said earlier, it is that your knowledge, if you are into the field of psychology, let's say, psychology, I would say that do the psychology in the maximum form. So the knowledge is going to be broad and deep. That's so important. Meanwhile, I say what will really help this knowledge to spread? To spread is determined by your compassion. So there are techniques whereby this compassion can be increased exponentially. There are techniques there. If you do that, you will become extremely the proactive girl to create this vibration all over. that it starts to resonate everywhere in the world is very possible. So the point is that number one, we have to, so we should be able to learn what is the meaning of accepting somebody else's mental problems. We should learn that. And for example, let's say that I'm working in the mental health society, and then I see somebody with the mental problem. And the moment I go there, I see the person with a mental problem. And then because of my training, I may go there and I may talk to the person, okay, it's wrong. But from my body language, people can see that he also feels a little, uneasy. It's a very natural reaction. And this the person with a mental problem, and he or she also feels that, look, this girl came here supposed to help me, but look at his body language. Look at her body language. From there, I could see that she already felt a little uneasy to see me. Why that is happening? We have to see how to remove that. You should be the role model for others to see that it is possible to accept somebody else's mental issues or mental problems without any, say, the dis-ease. Okay, so how to do that? So in your life, can you imagine somebody who can accept you no matter what your, the drawbacks, weaknesses? It is your mom, particularly when you were so vulnerable, when you were age 1, 2, 3, 4. Your mom, no matter what is happening, world may reject you, but your mother will embrace you. So that is acceptance. How come that your mom is able to embrace you with all my limitations, with all my disabilities? Because of the love. So we have to, first of all, cultivate this love within ourselves. This is so important. There's one we have to say. Now, after saying this, we have to reflect within yourself. And once you reflect that within yourself, then you tell other people that, okay, don't be judgmental. Don't be judgmental. We have to embrace other people with the mental disorders, mental problems. So they can see that there's no, say, the change in the body language when you encounter with the people with the mental disorders, mental problems. So there's a tremendous naturalness of embracing acceptance from you. So you should become the role model. This is so important. And for that matter, in your program, in your mental health program, there must be the provision for, say, the expanding the circle of love and affection to make the love and affection more profound, the manner in which Albert Einstein said in his speech. So this is so important. Number one, you have to change. Number two, we have to leave a possibility or the provision in your program that whoever joins as volunteers or to be trained under your program, all these people, they will learn how to increase their compassion. They will learn how to get the compassion more profound. So this is so important. This is how we have to expand. In other words, the charity begins at home. Thank you. Bhavya.
Thank you, sir.
I think you've got a very good suggestion for adding to your startup idea, how to increase that circle of love and compassion. Right. So, Apoor.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you've been waiting long to ask your question. Yes, please go ahead.
So, first of all, I would like to thank Bennett University for providing such an opportunity to have such insightful thoughts from the expert, Sir Geshe, Dorji, Damdul, and in the field which we have just begun. So it's a great opportunity that university has provided me. So, sir, you talked about the depression, anxiety, and all these mental disorders. Sometimes this disorder lead to suicidal thoughts. So, sir, as a youngster and among youth, how one can overcome with that thought? Because despite and so much awareness is there in the world, but still we have some thought of suicide. So, sir, how we can overcome?
Thank you so much, Apurav.
Apur.
Okay, Apur, thank you so much. Wow, all these questions are really the current issues, big issues. Thank you so much, Apur. This question is a very serious question, and I can see that you are really tackling the core of the issue. So this is so inspiring, coming from youngsters. So I should congratulate Bennett University for encouraging these youngsters. Okay, back to your question about, yes, because of depression and so forth, then amongst the youngsters, there's a tendency of, the suicidal the thoughts. So how to how to really stop this, despite people's effort, encouragement not to engage in these thoughts, but these things are, happening. So how to control that? This is a very serious question. In fact, they say, in my life, I've encountered with several people, the episodes of people who were on the verge to commit suicide, and their friends coming to know about it, contacted me, how to deal with this. Okay, so there are two things. Number one is that what to do on the spot, and number two is a long-term plan to stop these things which can potentially happen, in the youngsters in the future. If you have, if you can design it properly from now, and these youngsters can grow in such a way that these thoughts will never creep in their mind. And how come that, somebody can have this suicidal thought? It's because of the proper plan made by Apur and your group, so that these youngsters who are connected with you, they did not even have these thoughts. Even the possibility of having the thought is remotely being kept aside. So this is what we need to have. In other words, we need to have two plans. One is the long-term plan, where we can where the people will not even go close to this idea of the suicidal thought. And number two, those who already have these thoughts, how should we stop them? There are two things. Okay. The first one, the long term. For the long term, what is important is that that we need to make a network of extremely. So now your question is connected with the Bhavia's question. That is that we need to build a circle of very compassionate people. And this suicidal thought is, again, first of all, we have to know what is this suicidal thought? How does it come? Once you know the mechanism, then you can reverse it. So how it happens is that the first is the feeling, this perception, wrong perception, unpleasant feeling, then the mental disturbance happens. And then when this mental disturbance happens, nobody wants this mental disturbance. How to get rid of this? So some people, they go for drugs, they go for alcohols. Some people, they go for advice, counseling. So this is what people do. And then when nothing works, to remove this mental disturbance, acute mental disturbance, then what? The shortcut is to save one's life, so that this will not, you don't have to go through this again. Okay, this is the process. Now, how to stop this is that when they see the hopelessness, now there's no hope. I resorted to this, I resorted to that, I resorted to this, and nothing works. So there's no hope. So first is to give hope to these people. And then for the immediate, for the long term, always spread the message of compassion, 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 hope, hope, hope. There's always hope. No matter they say how hopeless you feel yourself. That's not true. It's your perception. The reality is there's so many good people around the world. And you must create good examples of good people, compassionate people, sympathetic people. And then whenever such incident is there, so the one that they must be given access to these good people. Let them just communicate, let them become friends. The moment they become friends, it's very easy. For example, let's say, I'll tell you one the example. In this world, there is nothing which which cannot be gotten rid of. In this world, there's nothing a problem which cannot be gotten rid of, which cannot be fixed. Okay, what does it mean by that? One time, in Tibet House, we organized a big program, huge 5-day program, and where conferences are there, exhibitions are there, then the dialogues are there, then the panel discussions over there, and the all sorts of medical astrology, and the brain and psychology, all these programs are happening for 5 days, and it was mainly the host, not the host, managed by the secretary of Tibet House. There's one girl, the secretary. She's very competent. And I'm the director, but so my job is just say yes, 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 and then she'll take care of everything. And one day I was meeting somebody in my office, and she just opened my office door, and she came in, and she was literally shivering like this. Otherwise, very competent girl. No, literally shivering. And of course, she is the main secretary of Tibet House. But she's literally shivering like this. And so what happened? And she said, sir, I made a blunder. I made a big mistake. What happened? Then she said, look, this is the problem. So when people think that now this is hopeless, I can't do anything. So hopeless, when the hopelessness sinks in, then they go to terminate their life. So she said that, I made a blunder. I said, what blunder? And she explained to me that the conference for the tomorrow's conference, one of the main speakers, I informed the wrong date to the speaker. So because which the speaker cannot come, and I had to contact the speaker to come today. But he said, no, I couldn't. He's very angry. And I said, that's the problem. She said, yes. So now somehow we have, our program is going to be spoiled tomorrow. I said, don't worry. Even in UNO, mistakes happen. Tibet House is very small as compared to UNO. Even in UNO, where all the experts from different countries are supposed to be there, even they make mistakes. So what is Tibet House? Don't worry, it can be fixed. So instantly she feels hope there. Okay, yeah, this is not a problem. This is not a big problem. Look, our director, he said that it's not an issue for him. So fine. So we fixed it right there. So the point is that we need to give hope to people. When the hopelessness sinks in, nobody can fail anybody. Only your own sense of hopelessness, your own sense of underestimating yourself, that is the greatest failure. When you underestimate yourself, that is the greatest failure. Otherwise, nobody can fail you. No situation can fail you. So why should you have to go for suicide? So the point is that we have to give this hope in the people. And for that matter, who can give the hope is somebody who is extremely compassionate person. We have to, your group, the startup group, you and the Bhavya, your group, you must create this, create an ambience of love and affection. Just keep teaching love and affection. Let people really grow in love and affection, that they become such a role model. And then the not only love and affection, as I indicated earlier, vast knowledge and profound knowledge. Profound knowledge, vast knowledge, and compassionate. We must nurture these people. For that matter, wherever you go, you be the ambassador of compassion. You be the ambassador of hope. You talk about hope, you talk about the compassion. Wherever you go, your society, your group, wherever you go, you talk about these two things, and then meanwhile nurture people into the compassion and hope. So with this, we make sure that your society really grows. That is extremely important, extremely important. Okay, so the point is that see how to give hope in the person. For that matter, affection is let's say there is there's a small village where there's a water scarcity. There's a drought happening, whereas you have a huge water dam. Huge dam there, you have a huge water reservoir, but there's no link between the two. So what should you do? You need a pipe which connects your water reservoir with a small village where there's no water. There's a pipe. What is that pipe? That pipe is your compassion. From compassion, whatever you have will flow. Without compassion, it will not flow. So now you have the pipe, then there should be something to flow. That is your knowledge. How to give hope. So that knowledge should be there. That knowledge must be there within you and your group, and that must flow through the pipe of your compassion. Thank you, Apur.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing such beautiful thoughts.
Welcome, welcome.
Well, I'm sure, Apur, you must have got more inspiration, and through Happy Us, you will be doing what Geshe has guided you with. I'm sure you're already doing a lot of good work.
Yes, ma'am.
For all
Yes,
your peer group, and you will be doing more now, and you'll have a new spurt of energy after all the inspiring words of Geshe.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So we have amongst the participants few of our Bennett faculty colleagues also, and there are many questions. I don't know whether we have time. If you permit, can I take one question from our Dean of Academic Affairs?
Of course, please, please. Yes.
So Professor Rama has put in the question answer section. He's asked you this question, that what is the line that distinguishes a want from becoming a desire or a weakness? When do we say a want has become a desire, or when it ends up as a weakness?
Very good question. This is a very profound question. How do you demarcate between want, which is destructive, versus, or some people say the need and the want, between the need and the want, or let's say, what do you really need? And what is the desire, which is destructive? How do you draw a line? This is a very good question. Okay. So basically, to make it very simple, say, where all those, say, any aspiration, say, we call, let's say aspiration. Aspiration for more money. So this aspiration for more money can be desire for more money or need of more money too. And aspiration, this aspiration, when you say aspiration, there's always accompanying, accompanying emotion of, what for I need this? What for I need this? So when you say, I need this, I need more money, and driven by the selfishness, disregarding others, that is pure desire. Say the wishing to have more money, with the desire to help others, like your family, or with a wish to serve Bennett University, to serve your family, and so forth. In other words, I'll say it is between the white and the black. And in between there grays. So where it is purely for the benefit of others, that is the whitest aspiration, the most white aspiration. Where it is purely selfish, disregarding others' welfare, that is the most, the destructive, the greed. Then in between, okay, more than me, okay, my family. This is much better than me. Then my family and my neighborhood. My neighborhood is much better than my family, my family. Then my neighborhood and my country. My country is much better. So we go from, say, from the total destructive greed to the very pure thought. So it goes like this. So in other words, to make it simple, when this aspiration for money, position, or whatever, it is for your just for your selfishness. That is purely destructive. It's a pure desire. And whereas if that is driven by a sense of concern for others' benefit, so then and within that we can see there's a variance, but that is a better or the virtuous version of the aspiration. So this is how we demarcate. Very good question. Thank you.
I, sir, will really have to take this question from Swastik Gupta, because he asked this question right in the beginning and he was a little angry that why don't I get a chance to ask my question. So I'll like to take his question as the last. And he's written here.
Ma'am, so
yes.
sorry to interrupt. I mean, we have, allowed everybody to unmute if they want to ask. So if
okay,
Swastik
so
is there,
Swastik, would you like to
can
ask your
directly
question?
ask the question.
I'm Kanish Khatre. I would like to ask a question.
Yes, Kanish, please go ahead. Yes, please go ahead.
Tashidale Kushak Dorjila. You mentioned, and His Holiness always mentions compassionate love and compassionately spreading help for even others who are not close or not your family. You said in the beginning as well. But a lot of times when people are dealing with a personal loss, in the sense of due to things that they can't control, you mentioned as authoritarian rule in China, or people, close family members dying of some disease, they tend to lock themselves up and they tend to not accept any help from others because they see somehow that they have been unjustly treated in some sense, because they feel I have not done anything bad, but all of these bad things have happened to me. Meanwhile, others who do bad, they don't receive any punishment. So they somehow feel that they have been unjustly treated. And you as a person, when you do try to help them, because compassion is something that, you should try to help. At the same time, when you say something to such people as, everything will be okay, that everything will get better, you sometimes yourself don't know, because nobody can see the future. So you sometimes don't really trust in what you yourself are saying, and you end up feeling that you have lied to this person who is already so troubled. You have somehow lied to him, saying that everything will be okay, even though I personally don't know whether it will be better. How does one actually go about helping somebody who rejects all form of help, and how does one deal with the question that comes to themselves as to whether I can truly help this individual?
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, that's very true. Where we see that there are, some people who rejects the help from others. That's very true. So under such situation, so your question has many facets. One of which is that how can I help that person? Number one. Number two is that if I'm not sure that the person will be okay, how can I tell that everything will all right? Because I'm not sure that everything will be all right. So it is like lying. So there are two things. The first, let me address the second one The first, which is the that you don't know that whether it will be fine. You know that everything will go fine with the person, and then still you go there and tell the person, "Don't worry, everything will be fine." Okay, so what should we go? What should we do under such situation? Should we say that everything will be fine while you're not too sure that everything will be fine? This is a question. So under such situation, what is important is there we need the help of all the kind people's, say the efforts together. This is sometimes known as a brainstorming. Brainstorming, you have, say, you are a compassionate person. Likewise, look for other people. Always keep in mind, this is where we need a proper planning. That, okay, these things can happen under such situation. I cannot handle it by myself. I need support of other people. So people like what? Too many cooks can spoil the broth. So what do we need is that we need people who can really help. So who are those people who can really help? Those who had a broader vision, those who can see things clearer in time and in space. In other words, those people who are more informed in terms of the depth, in terms of the vastness of the information. And if you don't know how to really set what to tell this person, you must have in your hands, on your fingertips, you should be able to identify some people ready on your fingertips since long time ago that, okay, this person can give ideas. So these people will not, give false hope in the person. So first go there, and if I were you, what I would do is that first I would go there. If I go there, the person rejects me, I will not go there directly. Right? Then I will pretend as though like I just accidentally came there, not to see that person, right? And I'll treat the other person very normal, that nothing has happened to you, right? Or I have so much problem, I'll say this. Then the person, okay, I thought that he's a very happy person. He's also in a problem. So like me, oh yeah, I have so much problem. Hey Vinesh, do you have problem? I have a problem, right? Just let the person feel that I'm like you. Then once that is done, then the person, yeah, there's a problem. So I'm just wondering if somebody can help me of the problem. And then problem also, you share something which is very similar to what the other person is going through. Okay, I'm going through this problem, but I reject everybody. And he's going through the same problem, but he's not rejecting. He's looking for somebody to help him, right? So the person will see that this problem is not exclusively with me. It's with other people also. This is the first thing that you have to do, to let the other person feel that it's not only you who's going through the problem, there are so many other people also going through the problem, worse than you. This is first the information that you have to pass. Once the other person feels that, okay, this person also goes through the problem, then don't say that, oh, there's a hope, there's hope. No, don't say this. Just say that, okay, what's your problem? I have this problem, right? What's your problem? The person not ready to share. So before the other person gives answer, you said, I have this is a problem, right? Then the person may share 10% of his problem. And then you try to extract more. Once you know the problem so well, and why this person is not ready to accept others' help, primarily because the person thinks that either you are not competent, or the person thinks that you don't have the love and affection. So this, you have to let the person feel that we are just same. By no means we are superior, you are inferior, no means, number one. Number two, whatever we can do, we will do to you, and you can also, if you do to us, we'll welcome that. So these sentiments must be built in this person in a very skillful way. And then, say, with your knowledge, broad knowledge and the deep knowledge, try to penetrate through much worse scenario which the other person can understand, yet the person is not going through these problems himself or herself. And we said that even these problems we can solve very easily. Why some people, let's say, while all the solutions are there, unless they go through this problem. This is where we are going wrong. Just say like this, not telling the person directly. Then, yes, there's a hope there. So this is how, first let the other person communicate with you. Communicate with you, although the person may not find hope in you, but let the person communicate. When the communication happens, then the pipe is already created. Then the water reservoir can flow. So this is how we can first let a person communicate with you in a very skillful way. So therefore, say one of the practices of the compassionate person that should not be missed is the skillfulness. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind wisdom. I'm really enjoying it. Actually, I have two questions. These are interrelated.
Yes.
The first question is, why it is said that sometimes people with the good intentions causes the most problems? And my second question is, as we know, like we humans are irrational and we all have biases. How humans can deal with the problems of self-deception?
Okay, the second question not too clear.
How humans can deal with the problem of self-deception? Humans have a tendency.
Okay. Good question. Okay, the questions are so good. Okay, the first one is sometimes the people with the best of intention, we can see that they can create the most of the problems. Yes, I fully agree with you. Okay, if I share a story, you will like it. Okay. For example, sometimes, say if I'm a little sick, and then my friends or my relatives, they overdo with the best of the intention, right? Let's say I cough, and they put me into this CT scan, right, for pneumonia test and so forth. Anybody can cough anytime. Say if I drink, the water goes into the windpipe, it'll cough. Why should I just send the person through CT scan or brain scan or pneumonia test? No need. This is overdoing. But these people, they are doing, with so much best of intention. And then you feel so irritated, so disturbed, so much waste of time, right? In other words, overprotective. With the best of the intention, sometimes this is the problem. The children, particularly this age, in Bennett University age, so they are the mothers, could be you may be indicating to the mother, right? With the best of intention, always checking you, right? At 6 o'clock, 8 p.m. Where are you, my son? Where are you, my daughter? Right? Mom, I'm with my classmates. Why, it's already 8 o'clock. You're not coming home now, right? So you feel so disturbed. You're in the dance club and you're enjoying it, and your mom is not allowing you to enjoy it. So with the best of her intention, it just spoils the evening night. Okay, so what I'm saying is that yes, these things happen. Under such situation, what should we do? If you are the one with the best of intention, creating the most harm on somebody else, then you should be smart. In other words, you should train. First of all, you should be aware that these things happen, not only to others, but even to me. I can be that person with the best of intention to create the most of the biggest of the disaster. So for that matter, I should be very skilled. My compassion, best of intention meaning compassion. And then end up into the biggest of disaster is because of unskillfulness. So I should train myself into skillfulness. How to train in skillfulness? Vast knowledge and the deep knowledge. Finally, keeping in mind the benefit is important, not the means. The benefit is important. The result is important, not the means. Okay, this is what we need to keep in mind. If it is with somebody else who with the best of intention is, creating most of the disaster on you, so how to deal with this person? You tell the person lovingly, gently, but assertively that you don't have to overdo. I know this is all coming from the best of intention, but you don't have to overdo. These things can happen with this, but there's no need to overdo. And whereas if sometimes you think that the other person's overdoing, in actuality, and they know the other person is smarter than you. If the other person is smarter than you, don't say that you are overdoing. Then you have to check with somebody else because your judgment may be wrong. That is number one. Number two is how to deal with the self-deception. So therefore, let's not forget it. The two points which I shared with the earlier, the questioners: be kind to yourself and be wisely kind to yourself. Second part, be wisely kind to yourself means don't deceive, don't end up in self-deception. This is the meaning. So, be wisely kind to yourself means you have to identify what are the causes which give rise to suffering. Don't go after these causes. For example, the young boys go after the drugs and alcohols. Don't do that. Don't think that college life is a life of fun. And then I can go and do drugs, alcohol, and so forth. Don't do that. This is being extremely unwise. So it's a self-deception, particularly for the college boys and girls, because let's say the 3 years. I would say that the 3 years in India, the bachelor's is for 3 years. In America, it is 4 years. In India, it's 3 years. 3 years, I appeal all the boys and girls to make sure that just follow the advice of your, say, the elders, particularly experienced and knowledgeable elders like your parents, like your teachers, your professors, and so forth. Just follow this more loving and compassionate professors, loving and compassionate your relatives. Just try to follow more of their advice for the first 3 years. Then you go into the masters, don't worry. I personally, when I see the youngsters who, somehow we're connected, I make sure that I give more advice to the youngsters when they're in the first 3 years, undergrad. Once in the masters, I don't give much advice because they know the world. They've already experienced the first 3 years. So those who are very stable, they have seen the consequences of self-deception. They've seen that. And they've seen the consequences, they've seen the benefits of the staying away from self-deception. They've seen that. Because of this, they're already stabilized in the masters. So then in the masters, the chance for the boys and girls who were doing the undergrad, who are being very decent, very, the matured, and slipping into alcohol, these things is much less. So the point is that for all the boys and girls, the first 3 years, I appeal that you follow more of the advice of the elders. And then once you go to masters, then you can go on your own, no problem. This is my suggestion. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think with that, we've exceeded almost by an hour. We can wrap up the session if there is no question now.
I have a question.
Yes.
We have a string of questions.
Samriddhi, may I go first?
Samriddhi, make your question very quick, okay?
Right.
Because he will be tired. He's been speaking for so long. So please make it very quick.
Definitely.
Your question.
So, ma'am, firstly, thank you so much for the orientation. I truly enjoyed it. And my question is, the mental discernment and the disturbance that Sir mentioned, it also leads to loneliness, and people with mental health issues, as someone mentioned, they shut themselves off, they feel disconnected with both the world and themselves, and they feel alone in general. So how do we tackle this loneliness and how do we help ourselves, just get rid of this loneliness?
Okay, is it yourself in this episode or somebody else in the episode? There are two things. These two are different.
Yes, I would be talking about myself, like the person.
Okay, if you are the one, that is much easier because you are the one, and then you are seeking the possibilities to come out of this. Whereas some people who go into this episode, they don't feel the hope to come out of this, and they don't attempt to come out of this.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, so in your case, you are, say the how to come out of this. For this matter, one thing is the saying amongst your friends or your professors or your, say, the relatives, among them, if or let's say now this is much easier than as compared to earlier times. Nowadays, you can do for the Google search, the people, the talks of the compassionate people, the talks, and the compassionate people, when they talk, it's very different. You can feel it yourself. The moment you feel this, known as the mirror neurons, where somebody talks very compassionately, you could feel it. You could feel it, and without your knowledge, the mental state is being uplifted. You feel uplifted. You lift up, and you listen to it twice, 3 times, 4 times. Over time, you feel all right. This is very important. And then, whereas if you do have people, your classmates, your seniors, or professors, in the family, some of your relatives who are loving and who have the understanding, who are not being. Sometimes I personally, this is my personal also. If somebody overdo something to you, oh no, like this, then I feel so suffocated. Whereas if there's somebody who's there to help me, but treat me as very normal, not as sick person like this, then I feel more relaxed. Then I see that this is a real helper. So likewise, the point is that what is your mindset? What is your mentality? So accordingly, you have to look for people. This is so important. The first immediate rescue is the people who have this understanding, and who really takes care of you, a sense of concern, having a sense of concern for you. This is very important. And don't just wait for this person in your immediate circle. And these person can be anywhere, in the form of books, in the form of the YouTube talks and so forth. But make it a point that you listen to the sensible talks. Sometimes some people, what today people call as the bad wives, they may speak very beautiful English, rich vocabulary and jokes, but at the end you feel so tired. You're at the end, while you are absorbed there, it's fine. But at the end, when they're finished, you feel so tired, which means that is not the right person to whom you to listen to. So where you listen, and then you feel your mind's uplifted. Your mind's uplifted in a very peaceful way, not in a disturbed way. When that happens, this is the person you have to listen to. And then after talking, you just feel rejuvenated. If that is happening, this is a good person. You have to listen to these talks. Okay, this is one thing. And then also do a little bit of breathing meditation. Breathing meditation, which is a very secular meditation, where you don't need any deity or nothing. You just sit, body should be upright. Don't close your eyes. Keep your eyes half open and just count your breath. Don't do anything. Just kind of forget all your past, the experiences for that time, for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, just count a breath. just count your breath 21 times or for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is going to be like 30 cycles. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 1, breathe in, and breathe out. Cycle 2, for 2 minutes is going to be almost like 30 cycles. Otherwise, 21 cycles. 21 cycles is just 1.5 minutes. Okay, so you do that, and once you are done with this, your mind will feel much lighter. Your heart will feel much lighter. And then, if you want to go further, again, you sit calmly. Just don't try to bring in these thoughts. If you try to bring in these thoughts, for 2 minutes, try to stay away from these thoughts. And even if these thoughts come, don't chase after these thoughts. Just try to focus on the breath. Just count the breath. Count the breath. Okay. Then if you succeed in this, then the second step that you can take is just the heaviness that you feel. Usually when you feel depressed, the heaviness is what you feel at the heart. At the heart, you feel heaviness there. Sometimes you feel as though like it is just a very heavy metal is inside at the heart and it's just pulling you down. This kind of feeling can come. When that happens, just sit upright, and after breathing meditation, just focus on the area where you feel the weight, the heaviness, congestion. Just keep observing it as though like your mental consciousness. For example, if somebody scratches from behind, you're not looking at it, but you can feel it. Likewise, you try to feel this and then try to keep observing it with your mind. Just focus on this for like 2, 3, 4 minutes. Then this heaviness will disappear. And why this disappearing? If you want to know, I can communicate with you later. Okay, at the moment, this is a little off the track, but this is an extremely effective way. It will simply, this heaviness will disappear. When the heaviness disappears, then you feel like, talking to other people. You feel like going out. This is very important. Then another point is that this is what happened to, to one of my friends, I think about like 2-3 months ago. And she was communicating with me through through video call. And she was going through depression. And then I said that, okay, you've been staying in your house all the time. She said, yes. I said, no, go out. Go out. Go to do window shopping. You don't have to buy anything. Go to do window shopping. Keep in mind when you go there. And then she said that when I go out, I feel as though like everybody's judging me. Then I told her that when you go out, to go for window shopping. And when you do that, keep in mind that everybody has a problem. Even the shopkeeper, who seems to be very rich, very successful shopkeeper, no. If he's very rich, successful, no fear, no anxiety inside, he will not sit in the shop now, in the COVID. The fact that you are in the COVID time, you're in the shop means you are risking your life. Which means that the person has a problem, knows that anytime I can have COVID because somebody can, come to the COVID. Who knows who has COVID, who doesn't have COVID? Who knows? So with this, the person is sitting in the shop with a tie, with all this, as to like the very rich person, but there's a problem inside. Even everybody has a problem. With this in mind, at least go out once. And she said, wow, that's very different way of looking at it. Yeah, that's very true. Everybody has a problem. It's not only me. Why should I stay inside and everybody else can come out? I can also come out. Yes, come out. At least once a day. And then you see that what congests you inside, which makes you to stay at home, that will be released. This is how you can uplift yourself and you can free yourself from this problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your answer.
Welcome.
So can I present my question?
Yes.
Aditi, I think we should respect Geshela's time also. He
Last
might
question.
have other
Last
engagements.
question.
Yeah, he might have other engagements, and maybe I'm
I mean,
sure with time in the future we'll be able to invite him on our campus.
Professor Sangeeta ji, if you may kindly let me listen to this question. I'm so excited.
No, I'm all ears to what your advice you're giving. It is
Thank you
precious
so much.
advice for
Thank
all
you.
of
I'd like
us.
to listen to this question.
Okay, Aditi, we'll take your question, and as Gishela has allowed us, so we'll take your question.
Thank you so much, Professor Sangeeta ji.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I am Aditi Tiwari. Thank you for helping me to present my question. Sir, I want to express my gratitude for this wonderful lecture. Sir, secondly, my question is, it is usually being said that a person being close to nature never suffers from depression. So what is the role of nature? What is the role of environment? What is the role of trees, birds chirping, and all these things in a person to overcome depression? Thank you, sir.
Okay, this is again a very important point. The point is that they are, depression. This is a very serious question. Thank you, Aditi. This is a very serious question. The depression, I shared with you all the process of how the depression sinks in. So there, one is you have a feeling that everybody is judging you, or anybody can judge me the moment I come out. So these things, this is one of the elements when somebody's going through the depression. So there, with the nature, you know that in the nature, nobody will judge me. Nobody will judge me, where you can feel the expansiveness. With the people, the moment you go out, somebody else who is going through the worst of the time. You see that person, even that person appears as though like he or she is being judgmental. He or she has no time to be judgmental about you, But this is how our mind projects things like this. Whereas in the wilderness, in the forest, in the nature, you are 100% sure that nobody's judging me. So you have the expansiveness, the feeling of the expansiveness, where your mind is expanded. The suffocation is being released by meeting with the nature. So the nature, particularly say in the forest, in the wilderness, or in the meadows, or let's say in the secluded place or vast, but not in a valley, not a valley surrounded by the mountains, and you are right below. This is not a good place where it is said, even for the meditation, it is said that the place where you are little, they say this is the slope of the hill area, and you around like this, let's say this place, and from there you can see the wide spectrum of the valley down there. So there view, the expansive view, that is very helpful. So this, because of that, that nobody's judging me. When that is, then the suffocation stops. Then your mind expands. This is how the nature is helping us. You are right, perfectly right. And now from this, the lesson that we got is that we have to teach ourselves, or we have to have the rationality that nobody has time to judge me, right? It is my own projection. That conviction, the people who is helping you, or you helping somebody else, we should help somebody else to let them feel that nobody's judging you. In fact, everybody thinks that everybody's judging them, right? You are not being judged by everybody. Just go out and feel that everything's like trees, water flowing, and they have their own things. They have hundreds of problems at home. Even if even if you request them, I'll pay you, please judge me, right? They will say, I'm very sorry, I have so many problems in my home, I have no time to judge you, right? This is what we have to convince them. Then the nature and the Delhi, Noida, there's no difference.
Thank you, Geshe, for all the time and patience. A huge amount of respect for you for taking those questions from our students so patiently.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.